Hello guys, welcome to Smart and Genius. If you are watching my channel for the first time, please subscribe and press the bell icon. In today's session, we are going to discuss Chapter 4 of History, Class 6. What books and burials tell us? You may have heard about the Vedas. There are four of them: the Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharvaveda. The oldest Veda is the Rigveda, composed about 3500 years ago. The Rigveda includes more than 1,000 hymns, called sukta or well said. These hymns are in praise of various gods and goddesses. Three gods are especially important: Agni, the god of fire; Indra, a warrior god; and Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared. These hymns were composed by sages, rishis. Priests taught students to recite and memorize each syllable, word, and sentence, bit by bit, with great care. Most of the hymns were composed, taught, and learned by men. A few were composed by women. The Rigveda is in Old or Vedic Sanskrit. Some of the hymns in the Rigveda are in the form of dialogues. This is part of one such hymn, a dialogue between a sage named Vishwamitra and two rivers, Vees and Satlaj, that were worshipped as goddesses. There are many prayers in the Rigveda for cattle, children, especially sons, and horses. Horses were yoked to chariots that were used in battles, which were fought to capture cattle. Battles were also fought for land, which was important for pasture and for growing hardy crops that ripened quickly, such as barley. Some battles were fought for water and to capture people. Some of the wealth that was obtained was kept by the leaders, some was given to the priests, and the rest was distributed amongst the people. Some wealth was used for the performance of yajnas or sacrifices in which offerings were made into the fire. These were meant for gods and goddesses. Offerings could include ghee, grain, and in some cases animals. Most men took part in these wars. There was no regular army, but there were assemblies where people met and discussed matters of war and peace. They also chose leaders, who were often brave and skillful warriors. There are several ways of describing people. There are two groups who are described in terms of their work: the priests, sometimes called Brahmins, who performed various rituals, and the Rajas. Two words were used to describe the people or the community as a whole. One was the word jana, which we still use in Hindi and other languages. The other was wish. The word vashya comes from wish. Sometimes, the people who composed the hymns described themselves as Aryas and called their opponents dasas or dasyas. These were people who did not perform sacrifices and probably spoke different languages. Later, the term dasa and the feminine dasi came to mean slave. Slaves were women and men who were often captured in war. They were treated as the property of their owners, who could make them do whatever work they wanted. The practice of erecting megaliths began about 3000 years ago and was prevalent throughout the Deccan, South India, in the northeast, and Kashmir. The dead were buried with distinctive pots, which are called black and red ware. Also found are tools and weapons of iron and sometimes skeletons of horses, horse equipment, and ornaments of stone and gold. Sometimes, megaliths contain more than one skeleton. These indicate that people, perhaps belonging to the same family, were buried in the same place though not at the same time. The bodies of those who died later were brought into the grave through the potholes. Stone circles or boulders placed on the surface probably served as signposts to find the burial site, so that people could return to the same place whenever they wanted to. Inamgaon is a site on the river Gode, a tributary of the Bhima. It was occupied between 3600 and 2700 years ago. Here adults were generally buried in the ground, laid out straight with the head towards the north. Sometimes burials were within the houses. Vessels that probably contained food and water were placed with the dead. One man was found buried in a large, four-legged clay jar in the courtyard of a five-roomed house, one of the largest houses at the site, in the center of the settlement. This house also had a granary. The body was placed in a cross-legged position. Archaeologists have found seeds of wheat, barley, rice, pulses, millets, peas, and sesame. Bones of a number of animals, many bearing cut marks that show they may have been used as food, have also been found. These include cattle, buffalo, goat, sheep, dog, horse, aspic, sambar, spotted deer, blackbuck, antelope, hare, and mongoose, besides birds, crocodile, turtle, crab, and fish. There is evidence that fruits such as beer, amla, jamun, dates, and a variety of berries were collected. This is the end of the lesson. Thank you all for watching my video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Press the bell icon for more updates. Next video of NCERT solutions of this lesson will be uploaded soon. Bye. Thank you.